Another crab's treasure. This game has blown up out of nowhere. It has perfectly tapped the market of people that love Dark Souls and love having crabs, or having crabs in a video game. Sorry, basically it's Crab Souls. But anyway, there are 5 things that I think Crab Souls does better than Dark Souls. Now, obviously Dark Souls is the better franchise overall, so don't execute me in the comments, but please leave a comment if you disagree, agree, or if you've tried the game or want to. But yeah, be nice and let's do it. Number 1, platforming. All right, I know what you're thinking. Dark Souls is not a platforming game, but has anyone told From Software that? I am convinced Miyazaki bonked his head 20 years ago, woke up and has confused himself with Miyamoto for the last 20 years and has been thinking he's been making Super Nintendo games this whole time. Okay, hold on. Oh my God, he's actually calling me right now. Hello?
Yahoo!
Oh my God.
It's me, Miyazaki.
No! Dark Souls has sections that act like it has the platforming mechanics of Crab Souls, but it doesn't. SpongeBob Battle for Anne Orlando leans into their platforming mechanics with jumping, grapple hooks, little teeny beanies that he uses. Oh my God. Sorry. And just general character movement and mechanics that make it fun to platform with. That way, when you fall and die, it feels deserved rather than... Number 2, easy mode. This one's going to be a controversial topic. I can already feel it brewing, but Crab Souls does have a very easy, customizable section that allows you to create what is essentially an easy or an easier mode to your liking. Now, I'm not saying that Dark Souls should implement this, but I am saying that Sheldon Ring does have a very nice off switch for specific game elements like reducing damage, more parry frames, or not losing souls on death. And I can hear the pitchfork and torch mob assembling, but remember that Dark Souls has had easy mode since the very beginning. Whether it's Solaire bitch slapping a couple of gargoyles for you, or even summoning your own friend to turn a difficult area or a difficult boss into literally nap time, there has always been game mechanics or even some spells in later titles that allow you to skip through the game. Like a field of flowers, knowing that Paladin Leroy is there to save your ass as you cower against the ungodly power of Pinwheel. What would we do without you, Leroy? Sekiro just makes these easy mode elements more accessible, and there is no summoning, so, you know, more parry frames or not, you are still killing the boss, so you can't just blast through. What the hell? If you think of it from the perspective of a friend telling you that they quit Dark Souls because it was too hard, Crab Souls does a much better job of allowing that friend to easily tune down the difficulty to what is their comfort level. If you try and explain easy mode in Dark Souls, you end up looking like a crazy person real fast. Okay, so you can summon people to help you, but you need to be in human form, which you do from using humanities, which you find around the world. Then you sit at a bonfire and you reverse hollowing. Then at specific locations, you can summon an NPC. Or if you're online, and watch out for invaders, we'll get to that. If you're online, then you can see invisible signs that other people have left on the ground because they used what's called the white sign soapstone. Meanwhile, in Crab Souls... Number 3, clarity and accessibility. Crab Souls is a simple, and some might say watered down, version of the Souls formula that is actually really refreshing. Refreshing like a glass of water. All right, first off, there's a stagger meter. Finally. I am so tired of confidently doing a heavy attack in a Souls game, knowing that the boss's posture is about to break, and then it doesn't, and then I have actually no clue how close this boss really is to breaking. This game fixes that, and I appreciate it. Beyond that, the game does a great job of just clearly communicating game mechanics, combat techniques, where to go, and so on. Dark Souls certainly has a lot more going for it and has the potential of a much richer gaming experience, but only after you get past the initial hurdle of
what the fuck is this piece of shit?
If you just drop somebody into another Crab's Treasure who doesn't have any experience, they really wouldn't need any guides to know where to go, what to do, and how to be successful, which makes it just a fantastic, accessible entry point into the genre. Number 4, just general fun. Look at this shit. Dark Souls fans have to bring a lot of the goofs to the games themselves, leaving funny messages or coming up with meme builds, but the actual games themselves have very rare instances that they don't take themselves very seriously. And I'm not saying Dark Souls should have enemies go yay whenever they get killed, because that probably clashes with the tone of the game, But there's obviously a huge demand for some off-the-wall, quirky elements incorporated into the Dark Souls formula when you see how popular mods are. And God bless you, modding community. I wish Miyazaki went to the dev team tomorrow like, "Modders,
Was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
maybe New Game Plus would benefit from some built-in goofs, like where maybe enemies are tiny versions of bosses, or 3 times the speed animation, Dark Souls with guns, or item randomizer. We could use a little more fun once we've beaten the game 3 times. And notice I said fun, not a challenge. Okay, most of the time when people say that they're bored with Dark Souls or any From Software game, everyone says, all right, now you should just try it where you can only level your weapon up to 1 level, or no hit, or no death. And that's more of just playing the game, which is already hard, on a harder difficulty, which has its value, and a lot of people enjoy that. But I think that there's definitely some room for some goofs and gaffs. Oh, and keep in mind that I'm saying New Game Plus for all this kind of stuff. Definitely have players beat the game the way the developers intended first, but after that, come on, look how cute these little guys are. You're telling me you wouldn't want a fun mode option at the bonfires where you could, I don't know, make all the enemies tiny little baby versions of themselves for a bit? It could be just me. I don't know. Number 5, build accessibility. A long-time frustration in Souls games has been how rigid the games feel when it comes to weapons and armors that you can use. A few hours into a Dark Souls playthrough, once you've committed to a strength build and weapon type, and then like you want to try dexterity, From Software starts feeling like an abusive father screaming, "I was a strength build, my father was a strength build, and you want to play dex? No son of mine's gay." And then the older like jock brothers in the other room, he's like, "Huh, play dex? More like gay sex, right, Dad?" And then the dad's like, "Shut the fuck up, Danny, nobody asked you." And the son is like, "I fucking hate you, you're not my real dad, you're the reason Mom left." What was I talking about? Oh yeah, build accessibility. So in another Crab's Treasure, you not only mix up your build, the game basically forces you to. There are no stat requirements for all the various different shells that you'll find, each with their own unique attack. Plus, they double as your defensive armor. So they are constantly breaking, so you're constantly in the heat of battle, having to grab a new shell, creating a new armor setup, creating a new, weapon art. It's really cool. In Dark Souls, there is certainly something about taking one weapon, becoming a master of it, and leveling it up to its freaking OP. That's cool, but for me, a little part of me dies every time I find a hidden passage. I fight through a bunch of enemies. I'm searching through this secret area for 20 minutes to find a weapon or a skill that I don't have the right build for. Or you actually can use the weapon, and it's so late in the game that you don't even know if it's worth grinding to get the smithing stones to actually upgrade this thing to be functional, because you can't just, move weapon upgrades around interchangeably. So in another Crab's Treasure, you can just jump from one shell to another shell and think nothing of it. And that's it, babes. Please leave a like and a comment. It can really help a small channel like ours. Another Crab's Adventure is available free on Xbox Game Pass right now, and also it has a little bit of cost on Steam. But my wife and I have a lot of other videos about From Software games and others, and we also go live multiple times a week. So give us a subscribe if you like what we're doing. But thank you so much, and as always, thanks for watching.